Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please. Please. Christmas. Please. It looks like it started a new Twitch stream. Shitto. What the fuck is going on now? So, as title says, I'm doing Minecraft today. Now, the goal of today is twofold. The goal of today, for one, I'm gonna lower the temperature in here. So, the goal for one is to just like... Brody, I lowered the temperature. Why'd that cause the AC to turn off? Whatever. The goal is twofold. The goal for one is to beat hardcore Minecraft, because I've never done it. So that's the goal for one. The goal for two is to... I'm getting so distracted. The goal for two is... This is meant to be an exercise for... Actually, though. That's the goal. This is meant to be an exercise for thinking, for not necessarily thinking, but commentary. Because if you watch someone like Northern Lion, like, I think having a chat that you can rely on is a crutch that you only get once you're a certain level of streamer, which I'm not at. And so instead, I need to just work the muscle that is the brain to be able to do raw commentary shit otherwise in silence. So that's low-key the goal. So I'm just gonna... We're doing hardcore Minecraft. It's gonna be no outside music, yes to Minecraft music. The goal isn't to speedrun necessarily, but like it's not specifically to speedrun, but the goal also isn't to take our time. The goal is to beat the game, you know? This is just pure vanilla. I think let's just run it. Great new world. Okay. Oh, I want live split. Live split. New updates are available. Yeah, sure. Okay, that music is already quite loud. Options, music and sounds. Let us turn this down to like there. There. That is still a bit loud. Okay, new world. Hardcore run 1. Alright, great new world. I will... Oh, I guess I should wait to start the split. I'm just gonna start it now. This is for funsies. Splitting. Alright. Straight into it. So yeah, so as I said, this is meant to be partially also an exercise in commentary and like kind of silence and commentary. My FOV feels weird. Is this normal? Man, I'm tripping myself out. All right, let me just settle on settings and stick with it. Because I think it is very admirable the way a lot of other commentary YouTubers can just like do shit and just like pure commentate. Well, not like commentary YouTubers, because I feel like modern commentary YouTubers are kind of like a different breed. I more mean like video game, like old style Let's Plays and shit. Because like it is admittedly impressive to be able to just fill hours on end. And like I don't have that same ability. And I think realistically, some of that ability is required in order to quote unquote make it. Some leaf litter. Easy. I have to say as well that like, oh, I'm on the Stalvey account. Alright, that's fine. I have to say, what did I have to say? Oh, I haven't played in like a few updates. But like low key, the recent updates have kind of seemed minor. So I don't know how much I'm necessarily missing out. This is also not a part of the original C418 soundtrack, I'm noticing, which is fine. Sheep. Is it better to save for shears? We're just walking. There are pigs. Pigs I can kill. I want to get early supply of food. Damn, this music is zesty. Early supply of food. That way I am good. Now we also need to get... I'll try to leave 2 pigs. We need to try to get iron. Hearing skeletons. Let me turn the music down some. Music's good. Let me turn it down on a tad. Because I think also a shield will be very important to have. Let's make some basic torches. Torches on the right. I think also choosing Minecraft for this is probably a good idea on my part. Not to stroke myself off too much, but like, because of Minecraft's inherent nature as a, you know, a relatively peaceful game, I think it provides the opportunity for a lot more balance. Or at least it's a peaceful game for those who know how to play it. I'll have some friends who will be like, you know, Minecraft's too stressful. And it's like, I think you're just bad. Like, real shit. If you're that stressed from Minecraft, you're legitimately just bad, and you are afraid of the dark. In real life. Not in Minecraft. In real life. The fact that you don't need a nightlight with you when you go to sleep should be considered a brave feat of man. Because you certainly act like you could use one. There's no point in me getting this copper. Why am I getting this copper? I think also due to the kind of inherent relaxing nature of Minecraft. Nope, I didn't mean to sprint. I think it will then... Or I don't know. I think also a likelihood of this is that I'm going to end up using it as some place to give my normal mental babble about... like life and shit and how I'm feeling about things, because certainly I don't know, I feel like I could use one of those. I normally do those at the end of a semester or a summer, and we're at the end of one of those. I just turned down the volume as a whole. That is iron. Great. Just like my normal little reflections on the semester and stuff, because, wow, because that is a skeleton spawner. Okay. I think this semester has certainly been a semester. I sound like a millennial. Well, I certainly did a thing. Yeah, it was work. It certainly was work. Me when I'm working. But I don't know. I feel like it wasn't, necessarily to some of the very extreme bad of like some previous ones. Or I guess not extreme bad. You are bad news. You are an extreme bad. Okay, enough out of that cave. I don't know. Of course there's my always inherent nature to be introspective. 3, that gives enough for a shield and a pick, or potentially a shield and shears. I think we go with shears. We can actually make hidey hole here. It seems like it's about to be nighttime, or it's starting to be. As I was saying, I think there's of course my inherent nature to be introspective a lot, because I always am introspective, because I'm always trapped in my own mind, so of course I would have a lot of thoughts about it. But I think just this semester provided a lot of opportunities for thinky. A lot of thinky time. Shit, it's getting to be nighttime. I'm not gonna have iron by the end of the day. Okay, that's fine. Less than preferable, but fine. I don't know. We'll have to see how satisfied I feel after talking about this on this medium rather than my normal medium of ranting to a camera for an hour. But I think I was recently kind of thinking about old, is there a way that my mic could maybe obstruct my face less? I was thinking about like old, Paul Source Jr. Minecraft, and how I think what he provided was certainly more than just Minecraft gameplay, at least from my memory of him. It's admittedly been a while since I watched him, but I think a lot of the great aspects of of his videos were the fact that it was like somewhat relaxing, not somewhat, definitely relaxing to those that consumed the content. I think if we can get a farm started quick as possible, that's great. So I'm gonna make a bucket now. Or like if you look at Northern Lion, because Northern Lion, it's like you listen to his streams and there's some, I don't know the term. It's not quite mise en scène, because that's not quite the correct application of it. But something intangible about the nature of the thing they're making, or it's just like soothing in a way. Gosh, why did that scare me? Or it's just soothing in a way. And of course Northern Lion's a bit different than PSJ, because even though they're both old dads, Northern Lion is talking about human centipede and if a human centipede could take down a gorilla. But I digress. It's just something satisfying about having gameplay with relatively little like distractions and shit, which I think people are more drawn to, at least for Northern Lion, because of the fact that like it serves such stark contrast to a lot of the other shit that's currently popular online. And by that I just mean like brain rot. Like I have a friend who I hung out with yesterday, and no shade to her, because I love her very dearly, but she was saying how she would frequently watch TikToks at 2x speed. Now that is batshit crazy to me. Because not only does TikTok kind of lead into the brain degeneracy as a whole because of the inherent nature of the swiping app and the formula of it, I think also the fact to then on top of that be sometimes two-timing that shit, that blows me away. I think, I don't know. I get annoyed by the people who are like, oh, attention spans are so much in decline. But I think that's perhaps my annoyance comes from the fact that I haven't had that issue as much, I would say. I feel like my attention span started plummeting years ago, and then it stabilized once I started getting medicated for ADHD. So, like, is it as much of an issue now? Not really. I feel like I've also been able to stay largely away from, like, brain rot shit. Like, the only short form content I consume is I maybe watch 5 to 10 minutes at most of YouTube shorts a day. And it'll be like, because I see one that's like in the normal home feed, I'll see one that's recommended that's like either funny or like interesting, and it'll be like, here's the time that Wolverine gave up his claws in order to save a baby child. And I'll be like, huh, what's that about? So I'll watch it. And then like, then we start swiping. What was I saying? Oh yeah. And like, that's about the extent of it. I'll scroll for a bit afterwards. And then it's like, okay. Like, I'm not doing anything. And I don't like that. So I'm gonna go do something. But I think I've been largely... I mean, I wouldn't doubt that my attention span is still probably shot compared to... Whoa, okay. Oh, you're just an Enderman, you're fine. Compared to, or like on a wider societal scale. Like that wouldn't surprise me. Or like just the fact that it has. Because like, yeah, I'll find myself sitting down, going to watch a YouTube video, getting bored like 5 minutes in. What the fuck is that noise? Getting bored 5 minutes in. Oh, it's a wolf. I think it's a wolf. That'll be good to tame. Yo! Huge. I forget which one this is. What was that? Maybe a cave noise? But I think, like, relatively compared to the average person my age, I would guess that I have a better attention span. Do I think that? I don't know if I think that, actually. I think a better attention span when it comes to consumption of media. Perhaps. I don't know if that's true. I think maybe compared to other people my age, in a similar amount of time spent on internet or consuming content, I have a better attention span. Like if you're on the apps that normally implies dating apps. If you're on social media video creation apps, if you're on slop apps and you're consuming stuff, I think the average person my age is just raw hits the swipe content. The what would it be? The TikToks, the Instagram Reels, the Instagrams. Like my only vice with social media is Twitter. Now that's no small vice. I'm not saying that. But I think that all things considered, there's less like raw, huge influx of stimuli into my brain from it compared to other things. Or compared to some other apps. Because like I go on Twitter, I try to limit myself to only like 30, 40 minutes a day maybe. I inevitably go past it. What was I saying? I don't remember. I think just like the raw like attention economy is not good. And I realize I'm certainly not the first to say that. But like the way it's kind of taken a huge hand on people. But so my point being is that I feel like there's certainly a market for not that. There's certainly things that try to counter it in their own ways, like YouTube New Wave. But that only catches one niche audience, all things considered. And, or one niche. People who say it as niche are actually kind of psychos, low-key. But, that's like kind of just the lifestyle more of things. I think there's like an uncharted, relatively uncharted realm for like the gaming. I don't know. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke up my own ass. Like I think a lot of YouTube New Wave, it's like, it kind of gets preachy. And that's fine. I'm certainly not one who's never done preachiness before. But like, I think that leaves itself open to some, I don't know, negative possibilities, perhaps? Or like, it kind of is somewhat isolating of consumers in its own way. Actually, this is just a better area to start the farm. Because like, core is perhaps a better example of like the meeting in the middle. Because a lot of core is just like not pure nonsense. But not necessarily trying to, or not directly trying to promote anything. any certain lifestyle. Perhaps maybe one that is devoid of a lot of the like chaos of contemporary internet. What do you think the next word for new is going to be? I say this because we recently, in a class I took, we went over the difference between modern art and contemporary art. Only a little bit. We more so just defined modern art and postmodern art and spent time talking about that. And then we were saying how like nowadays the new art, the newest current art style is contemporary art instead of modern art, because there's modern art, then postmodern art, now contemporary. But like, what word comes next? Because essentially it's like you get a new word that's meant to be saying the now. Modern is now, postmodern is like after now. So I guess that's kind of a reflection on the fact that of modern art, which the art style is itself, like that is what it is. Is that a village? But it's like it takes one of these words for new and then uses it, and then in a way like claims it, perhaps co-ops it. I don't know if co-opt is that's the right use case of it. But so then what happens? It's just inevitably it then gets claimed by the movement, by the idea, and becomes synonymous with it. So then it's like the name of the movement. But so modern art, modern as an adjective was claimed, used, taken. Then contemporary, used, taken to the current art style, art form. Blue egg. Damn, they added different colors to the eggs? Why? That's just gonna take up more like inventory space. Oh, there's sheep. Ow. But so what comes next? What are next? What other words are there for new? Because you could perhaps do post contemporary art, I guess. So that might be the after contemporary. I guess you can also do neo. That's another prefix that's used for media and criticism. After you use up all those prefixes or suffixes, I know in this case they're prefixes, then what do you use next? What is the next word? New art? Yeah, I went to this new art exhibit. Oh, it just opened up? No, it's for new art. Oh, it's for art that just came out? No. Well, yes. But specifically the art style that is currently coming out. New art. Like, I don't think you can use the word new because of its, like, mainstream utilization, for the fact that it's already so deeply, like it is the word for new. Is it already getting nighttime? Fuck me. Alright, I think we're going for this dungeon. So, like, what word comes next? Modern, new, neo. You can't do, I guess you could do neo art. Sounds a bit clunky. Neo art. That's like a prefix. Alright, let's go for that skeleton spawner. How did I get on this? I don't know. I guess it was just something I've been thinking about. Ideating. Okay, we're going quick. There's not even a dungeon here? You're why were there so many skeletons? Alright, well, I can at least get the iron. I think in a way these games that are more like so, like, this wouldn't count as a Northern Lion, like the Northern Lion kind of game, the menu game. Not really. This is like the, I don't know. What is Minecraft? Is Minecraft closer to like Ark or like Conan? Or like Stardew in Animal Crossing. Because it certainly shares elements from a lot of them. But I don't know. What am I talking about? I got iron. I think also another idea I have behind this, whatever this turns out to be, if this is a series, if this is a one-time stream, is this, and then move this onto here. I've never done like modded Minecraft really. Like I fucked around with it a little bit as a wee little kid. Not as a wee kid. As like in like middle school. But I don't know, never like a huge mod pack. So I kind of want to do that because I feel like that might be a fun experience because it's something I've never done before. And I think also that huge expansion of Minecraft, it's only been something I've really watched YouTubers do. So that's an idea. That's what I want to do after this series. Or video or whatever. But only after. Only once I've beaten the base game. I think it's also just so easy. Or I don't know. I need to build the muscle that is the endless rambling. Because I can do it in response to stimuli. But that's admittedly a limitation. More so a limitation in the short term than a limitation in the long term. I'll admit. But still a limitation. Oh, we get salmon spawns here? That is great. They changed the GUI for the bubbles. Or that's not GUI. That's HUD. I changed the HUD for the bubbles. I think also most realistically, I'm not going to spend all this time like fledging out a world. Considering it is hardcore. And like I would hate to just die and lose it while trying to pursue the Ender Dragon. I think if I get the Ender Dragon. Oh, you're a fuck ass sheep. If I can get the Ender Dragon, then I wouldn't mind putting more energy into the world as a recurring thing. As the fact of, oh look, it is a hardcore world. But first want to tackle the main boss. Also just now paying back the bed because I don't remember how spawns do, or how many beds spawn in relation to villagers. Might not have been a bad idea to get like, what is it? What are the like modern better than Optifine mods? Because I saw some Minecraft thread recently that was like low-key, oh, whose bed did I take? That was like low-key shitting on Optifine. Saying like, yeah, it was good for the time, but like, you know, more recently, like it would take too long, and more recently, like, Bibblebop and Scooble are just like more consistent and get better results. I don't know what Bibblebop and Scooble are, but I guess those wouldn't have been bad things to add. I will say the Minecraft telescope in comparison to Optifine is always something that tickles me because of the fact that like it's been an Optifine feature for years, perhaps even a decade, and they added it as a telescope like only now. And that telescope also just looks so much worse. But it also then raises the question of like previously Optifine's been thought of as like a harmless mod, whereas now it's like, well, you're getting something that you can get in game, and so you're getting it for free. Is that then ethical? Okay, sun setting. Right. So, Betty by time yet? No, not yet. That's fine. We need more iron. I can do that. I can do that. It's crazy to me that that guy is the guy in Suits. Like, that's the same guy. He's also in Psych. I have never heard of the TV show Psych before this semester. Never. Hand to Bible, gun to head. Both at the same time. Never heard of Psych before this semester. But I meet a girl this semester who is fucking obsessed with it. She's obsessed with a lot of shit. But like, it's one of her things. And it's like, only now do I start to see it online. But even when I do, it's still so infrequent that it's like, I low-key don't believe it's a real show. Real shit. I kind of just don't. I haven't been doing much. Just kind of sitting around. What did I do today? Oh, I went to the grocery store in the morning and get some breakfast. Buy some muffins. And then I came back, and then I edited the podcast. And then I sat around and watched some shit. And that's kind of, I think, been like the full day. Did I do anything besides edit the podcast? I edited the podcast. Because I've been behind on that. But low-key, high-key, I've been losing my passion towards the podcast. I don't know. I think it's like a self-fulfilling cycle of me going in unenthusiastic about it, and then as a result not being very entertaining on it, and then therefore the episodes being worse and also performing worse, and then the combination of the episodes being worse and performing worse. Like, if the episodes were bad and they were performing good, then it'd be like, okay, whatever. And if the episodes were good but they were performing bad, then it would at least be somewhat self-fulfilling. But the fact that it's like neither has just kind of been a hit to not quite morale. I guess morale. My morale. But so that's why it's certainly petered off over the past week or two. And how we're like a week behind, 2 weeks behind or something. I don't know. There should be another episode. It's done being edited now. But right, big caves. But I still need to make a thumbnail for it. I don't know, what can I make a thumbnail on for? We talk about, what do we talk about? We talk about how Javi used big Wall Street censorship to shut me up in my celebrations and my love for the arts, in a perhaps anti-Semitic way. We talk about Trump and the economy and suppositories and some other stuff that I totally remember. Ooh, Deep Dark. I don't love that. I don't love that. That is bad news for us. What could I turn into a thumbnail from that? We kind of talk about the content cop, so I guess I could, through time manipulation, make it seem like a Hassan versus Ethan thing. But that kind of feels cheap. I don't know. It feels like I frequently find myself in situations, or increasingly frequently find myself in situations where like I could churn out YouTube videos on just like sludge. Not slop, sludge. But it starts to become like a violation of my own personal ethics. Low key. Like, yeah, I could just dump out me reacting to that debate yesterday. And would it perform well? Possibly. It would certainly have a better chance at it. But while I still might do that, it also kind of feels like the greater commoditization, which is the right word there, of like a real socio-political issue of Israel-Palestine, just for the sakes of being a slop tuber and getting views, which is kind of like despicable. Bow! Huge! And like, I don't want to do that. I don't know. I would think that like, I would rather personally not make content than make content that I despise. I would rather be forced into a different industry than make stuff that I feel is a violation of my own personal morals or ethics or perspective of the world. And like, I could never. I mean, I could, not never. I could, but it would drive me nuts. And I think I would rather take a position doing something completely uncontent related. Like making like, I don't know, like editing shorts for like a car YouTuber. Like that's just kind of chasing the bag. That's whatever. I mean, like, you could not catch my ass working at H3 right now. You could not catch my ass working at Daily Wire. You could not catch my ass be an editor for Asmongold or some shit. Like, nuh-uh. I just feel like that's stuff that's, like, morally uncool, to say the least. And, I would rather not, like, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. There is no, a lot of the systems we work in are functions and effects of the machine and uphold the machine, but simultaneously you could not catch my ass doing something that's so vilely a proponent of the machine. Nuh-uh. It would not match my psyche. And you want to call me naive? You want to think I'm naive? Perhaps. But I would rather die naive. What's the sick fucking VeggieTales quote? I'd rather die standing than live kneeling. That's me, real shit. Real shit. I would go down with any boat that I find myself confident enough to be on. I am not one to yield. And it's not out of pride. It's out of I was gonna say it's out of confidence. But no, it's not confidence in like oneself, but rather in the product. If I'm that determined behind a product, like, yeah, of course I'd go down with the ship. Because I'm putting my whole pussy into it. It's turned into something that I love and appreciate. And that I see as a representation of myself to a certain degree. So yeah. Of course I'd go down with that ship. Because that ship is me. Just as much as anything else. If that makes sense. And so it's like I have confidence in the product. And if it's even self-sacrificing to go down with it, I'd be fine with that. If it means the product goes through. Like, that's how committed to the bid I am. That's not saying I'm committed to myself. No. I'm most critical of the things that I make. And it may not seem that way from an outsider's perspective, but it's inherently true because of the fact that, like, I am critical from start to finish, so I build it from start to finish. So I match those criticisms from start to finish and work around those criticisms from start to finish. So like, you know, even though I may watch something else and I may shit on it, think how poorly it's made, that's because like when I'm making something myself, I hold such high standards in the first place that should something dip to below a certain level, then I don't know. A sense of shame is maybe exaggeratory, but like I say no, nuh-uh, and keep at it. Keep at it till it fits your standard. That's something I'm constantly running into here at school, which is that like I feel like things aren't up to a high enough standard, even for like a standard for, because there's like a difference between being good enough and being good. And like a lot of the times they don't even hit the good enough. So that irks me when it's not even the good enough. And so like I can try, like for some projects I'm on, like I see what I'm working with or in comparison to what has been worked before me, and it's like, whoa, is the bar low, like so tremendously low. So it's like I can come in, make tweaks to try to raise this, but there's also only so much that I in one position can do. Whereas if I was the head of this whole thing, then I would be using that same critical lens from start to finish, and it wouldn't hit this low in my mind. And I understand the subjectivity of art, but at the same time, I think there are some certainly things that are objective. I think we can understand that a joke formatted in the normal... We can commonly agree that the joke formatted in the normal setup punchline on average would probably perform better than some other shit. I don't know. Like, we can still objectively agree that there are certain things that, certain trends and stats that, like, lend oneself to certain subjectivity. You can still determine that some jokes are commonly agreed to be more appropriate to be made, and so therefore the statistics behind that common agreement is then an objective part of it. Like, I don't know, let me come up with some stats. Like, I don't know, 50% of adults above the age of 30 feel like 9/11 is something that you can joke about. So it's like, okay, there's subjectivity in one's own interpretation of the joke of 9/11, or of a joke of 9/11, but there's objectivity in how it would likely be perceived in a wider audience. I don't know, I just see people so often trapped in like easily maneuverable situations, or situations that they found themselves in due to their own doing. I hesitate to say incompetence because that feels like a very harsh way of putting it, and a very judgmental way of putting it, especially because at the end of the day, this is all our first time living. We're still learning the ropes as we go about. But what was I saying? But it's like I just see mistakes or things that aren't as good as they possibly could be. It's not. It feels like if the good enough is so easily attainable, then it's a rob to the concept of. Then it's like disservice to the concept of creativity as a whole to make it less than that. Like, you so easily could have just hit this mark to make it the good enough. Oh, you're no fun. That's what irks me, is when I see stuff that's made that's like, you so easily could have done this and this to make it better, and instead you didn't, and now it's not so great. He might just be like right out there. And so it's when I see people, I guess in a way it's like, you could make to be overly charitable to me, you can make the argument that it's like, I'm upset that people aren't doing their best. Or not that. They're not fulfilling their maximum possibility. Like, that's the most charitable way of perceiving it. I would think that might be perhaps too charitable, because I think at the end of the day, it's like a mixture of that as well as like thinking about it from the consumer's perspective. And it's like, as the consumer, we all want good stuff. Or no, actually, is it even that? I guess it's kind of like that. But I think it's more so because I think of them as an equal in terms of how one goes about creating something. And so then it's like seeing them not do what certainly I see as the objective better option. Like, you know, like something, let me go back to this objectiveness. Like, I think like objectively, or like a large percent of people would certainly agree that they prefer movies with good mic quality to bad mic quality. And that's like an objective, subjective fact. Because it's terms of one's own preferential treatment, but simultaneously it's preference. So like when I see something that isn't that, when I see something that isn't up to said, like it has the lower quality when I know it could have been better. Like from the objective standard of my quality, and it's not as good, then it's like, okay, well then I don't understand the either laziness or lack of forethought to go to that degree that would make it even better, objectively. I don't know. Like, also simultaneously, I realize there's times where, like, I don't know, what was I watching? I was watching something that was, like, in the wind. What fucking movie was it? There's some movie I watched where, like, they're outside for a bit, where it's windy out. There was something I saw where they were outside, and you could tell that, like, or at least I could tell from the trained ear, that the audio they recorded was from there on location. Because, like, there was a certainly unavoidable, like, the audio sounded windy. And it's like, okay, that's a situation where I realized that, like, there's a limited number of things one can do to try to fix that. Because you could try to record it at a different time, but then you'll have difficulty matching it, and it will feel oftentimes less authentic than if it's recorded at the same time. Because you don't have the same emotions of the person going through the scene in the moment. Or you could have really spent a long time trying to figure out microphones and stuff on set in the windy environment. But then, to a certain degree, that's probably a waste of time. So it's like, that's a situation where I realized that there might be perhaps objectively a better possible thing if you had done more planning ahead of time and had the forethought to be like, oh, well, what if it's windy? Then to be like, okay, then we'll use this microphone and this thing at this moment and stuff, and all these checks and balances. Then, like, sure, there might be an objective better. But that's, like, to a certain degree, it's admissible. Admissible? Or permissible? Like, there's only so much you can do. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just need to do that which you can. I've been trying to get into reading more recently. It's a struggle, because I'm doing nonfiction rather than fiction. And I know there's plenty of fiction books out there that I would really like, most likely. Like, I've heard so many amazing things about Red Rising. Which is, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. Which is, I believe, a book about some, like, dwarves or miners stuck underground on this alien planet. And it's, like, kind of a bit about, like, class consciousness. Consciousness. And, like, I've heard amazing things from people time and time again. Like, so many different people over the many years. So, like, I bet I would like that book. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. Or, I don't know. What's another book, good book I've heard things about? That's really it. But that's like a book series, I believe. And so, like, I could read those. I would bet. I would bet there's also lots of fiction books out there. But I'm trying to get learned. I'm trying to get learned. And I have some books about like economics and shit. I have, what is it? Scott Galloway's like 100 facts about the world or whatever that he made like a few years ago or something. That's like, I don't know. Scott Galloway. He's smart. He's a bit of a lib, but he says good stuff. Is he ever like self-righteous? Maybe like at certain points. But it's like balanced, I feel, a lot of the times. But like I could read that, but I'm honestly very fucking exhausted of economics and shit. I'm exhausted of politics and economics, which sucks because that is what life is at the moment. Considering we're on the edge precipice of a new recession, perhaps even depression. I'm overly doomer about it. I only see people talking about a recession because I don't know when the last depression was, if it was just the Great Depression. So I don't know. So I've been looking for more like, not quite escapism, but like more big picture in a way. So I've recently been reading The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus, just because I always liked philosophy. I tried reading like, for my second time ever, I tried reading like The Full History of Philosophy, which is this book that like just goes through philosophy over time when like different theories were created and stuff by who were key players, like all this different stuff. I normally get to a bit past like Buddhism and then I tap out. And this is my second time now. Because it's like, I certainly like philosophy. I find philosophy interesting. It oftentimes feels overly complex, unnecessarily complex, and perhaps even full of itself. But I think it as a field is certainly interesting. I more care about like, what is it? Not metaphysics. More like existentialism, which is like, metaphysics is, if I'm correct, it's more of like ethical philosophy. It's like what my philosophy class that I had this semester was, which is about like, why do we do stuff that we consider good? What is a good act? It's like, well, there's different thoughts about it. There's the idea of like, a good act is something that brings about the most good, the most net happiness. So like, you know, is it a good act to go to the store and buy Sour Patch Kid? Well, it gives you +5 happiness points. So then, yeah, it's better than the alternative, which is sitting around and not getting a Sour Patch Kid. But there's also equally the argument of like, okay, well, if we say that one person, our professor asked us if we wanted to do this for the class, he seemingly legitimately offered it. It's like, if we want to do it, we could do one person in this class automatically gets an F, but everyone else gets a B or higher for the rest of the semester. And so then it's like this idea of like, okay, well, this one person's certainly getting fucked over, but the rest of us now don't have to give a shit about this class, so there's higher net happiness. It's like, well, there's ethical considerations there. If there's someone who is goes to Mars with other people and like on a space trip or whatever, and there's a huge sandstorm and everyone gets injured in a different way except for this one guy, and they all need a different kind of like organ transplant. They each need different organs. Is it up to this one guy who is healthy to then, ignoring the fact that like there's no one to do the transplant, like, I don't know, assume there's a fucking robot that can do it. Like, is it then up to this guy? Is he then morally responsible to then sacrifice himself as the one individual so that then his organs can be harvested for all the others, save them. It's essentially the idea of the trolley problem. Do you pull the trolley? If there's a trolley going to kill 3 people, do you pull the lever so that then it only kills 2 people? By a utilitarian perspective, the answer is clearly yes, because you are like saving more people. But that's like not so fun, because then you're killing someone. And so then from the other perspective, we learned about like, it really felt like there was like 2 main ones we learned about, which was, there were 3 we learned about, but it was more like 2 that kind of opposed each other. And then a 3rd one, which was like also there. So we also learned about Kantianism, which is deontology, I believe is the name for it. We never referred to it as that, but I outside of class saw it referred to as that. I don't need this coal. We outside of class just saw it referred to as that. Do I have full armor? I do. That's great. And so that's from Immanuel Kant, who was definitely autistic, said he never once masturbated in his whole life, and would go through town at the exact same time every single day, to the point that people would be able to time him every day, and like it would always correspond with their schedules, like almost down to the second. But so he had the kind of thought process of what matters more is, what is it? It's kind of like the action itself. Like it more so comes down to an evaluation of the action itself, because it's like, an action needs to be foolproof in order to be done, or in order to be ethical. So it must not, should everyone take it as like a law, should everyone do the same action you are doing, it does not like make itself impossible, and it needs to like, what is it? It needs to not rob someone else of their will. I think those are the 2 principles fundamentally, but they're pretty much the same. And you may say, well, that doesn't make sense. So like, if you take the idea, I don't have a bucket. If you take the idea of lying to someone, when's your birthday? I lie. I say March. So if we just focus on the function of lying, if everyone were to lie, if we now say everyone is allowed to lie, then everyone's going to lie. But then because everyone is lying, then there's no way to have like proper communication, because everyone is now completely free to lie whenever they want. But I think I may be like kind of inaccurately portraying that. But, and so like in a way, I don't know, that's like kind of the end of that point. So like it has to be universal. But so then if we were to say that I want to go kill someone, and I go kill someone, okay, well then I have to assume that's a universal law, that it is ethical to kill people. But then what happens to me? If it's ethical for everyone to kill people, then it's ethical for everyone to kill people. And then I can be one of the people killed. But then I would have never been able to wish it in the first place. And so, in a way, that's also the idea of, like, exploiting one's will for others, if that makes sense. And so, like, in a way, if I go to kill someone, like, I'm robbing them of their ability to have their own will and their own, like, choose their own actions. I'm robbing them of their ability to kill, if we want to stick with the killing analogy. But if I, like, I'm robbing them of their own ability to kill, right? But so then if we continue on the logic of now everyone can kill, then I get killed, then my ability to have the will in the first place to want to kill someone is robbed from me. And so therefore, no one was able to kill. And it's a paradox, if that makes sense. The example we used in class is like, I want to blow up the world. I want to blow up the world. So you blow up the world. Zombie spawner, nice. If I want to blow up the world, I blow up the world. Then what? Then the next person who wants to blow up the world can't blow up the world because there's no world to blow up. They can't even have any desire to do anything because they've been blown up by the world. I can't even have any desire to do anything because I got blown up with the world as well. And so, like, functionally, that's kind of the idea of Kantianism. And so it's like kind of like the golden rule, but like not really. The flaw in Kantianism comes about in like, okay, well, what if you're protecting Anne Frank? Which is, I guess, an relevant analogy to bring up, given the Ethan Klein Hassan debate and their discussion of Anne Frank. But if you talk about Anne Frank, if you're thinking about Anne Frank, then okay, well, the Gestapo come to your house. They say, "Do you have Anne Frank with you?" Well, the moral thing, if you're assuming under those basic universal principles that we talked about, of like you can't do something that like invalidates something else if it's a universal law, then based on that, you'd have to be like, yeah, I have Anne Frank. Here's where she is. But like everyone can kind of agree, you fucking protect Anne Frank, whether or not she's a pacifist. She's still a noteworthy character, whether or not she's a pacifist, Ethan Klein. But you protect Anne Frank. So then what do you do? Because the idea was that like you can't do something universal. So if you're lying, you're now saying that's universal, and now you're taking someone's will and turning it against them. Because they want the will to be able to like get Anne Frank. But under Kantianism, the counter argument to that is that, well, in the first place, they were violating someone else's will. I should also circle back to counter argument to utilitarianism. But in the first place, they were like violating someone else's will. They're violating someone else's will by like trying to catch Anne Frank. So then you are not obligated to use those same principles against them because they're violating them. And so then you would be free to do it. So in short, Kantianism would be pro-Hamas. Immanuel Kant would be pro-Hamas. But, but also there's a lot of counter-arguments to that. Because it's like, it's based on the idea of logic and like one's reason and shit. And so like I was making the argument of like, because we had to do debates for this in class, and I was tasked with arguing against it. And I was like, okay, well, what the fuck are you? Why do you look so weird? I said like, okay, I have to go pee right now. Like I gotta go pee. But there's scientific studies that show that like, if you have to go pee, you'll perform better under pressure. I think this is real. I'm pretty sure that's real. Because, like, it's more pressure on you, and then you're just, like, forced to be physiologically more alert. So then we're in this group debate right now. Would it then be fucked up if I went to go pee? Because, like, my group mates, they probably, based on their own logical reasoning, like, they want me at full alertness. But I gotta go pee, and I want to go pee. So then who's violating whose will if I were to go pee? Are they violating mine by wanting me to not to? Or am I violating theirs by going to when they don't want me to? And that's like a bit of a weak argument. But I then... what else did I fucking say? Oh, I forgot my exact argument. I made some point about like a girl who went to eat a muffin. I was like, well, what if I wanted that same damn muffin? Are you violating my free will? That sucks. Or like, what about the fact that if I came into this debate feeling so unprepared to talk about Kant, and then my teammates, like I genuinely think that because of the way the grades were structured, I genuinely logically think, because Kant was very much based on logic, I logically think that if I were to continue performing in this debate, I would hurt my team a lot more than the automatic minus 10% that they would get if I were to never speak at all. Am I full? No, I just haven't picked up that copper. So then is it my free will to try to help them for me to then leave and not do this debate in the first place? Or is that then like fucked up of me because they might want me to stick around so that they don't automatically get the minus 10? So then which is it? Or like our professor, he said that he was like, he kind of held Kantian beliefs. He said that a lot near the beginning of class. And I was like, well, fucking, we don't want to do debates. Like, that's our will. We don't want to do debates. Most of the people in the class don't want to do this debate because most of the people in the class go to a film school and are socially anxious. And this is also ethics class, so it's mostly... Sorry. So it's, I didn't say this, but it's mostly white women with anxiety who are pro-choice. And so, like, if we don't want to do this debate, none of us want to do this debate. Or very few of us want to do this debate. But our professor is deciding that we are forced to do this debate. So in a way, he is violating our own free will. So is he then breaking Kant's principles? Because it doesn't seem like there is a clear logic here. Should we do this debate or not? I should also make the point in trying to explain utilitarianism. So that's the one where you do like net happiness. Of like, it kind of falls apart when you start thinking about it too mathematically. Because it's like, okay, I get a certain amount of happy when my newborn child is born. And I look at them in the eyes. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But I also get maybe less happy from Sour Patch Kid. So how many Sour Patch Kids do I need to get to then equal having a child? And there isn't really a utilitarian come back to that. So we learned about those two. And then I think that was helpful. Like, while I certainly found those interesting, like, that's not really the kind of part of philosophy that I find as interesting as a whole. We also learned about the idea of, like, Aristotelian ethics, which, like, I think is different than is different from metaphysics. I think they're different. But metaphysics is also from Aristotle, so it gets a little confusing. I believe it's from Aristotle. But anyway, I digress. Is that the right word? Whatever. But, so, the Aristotle viewpoint is where it kind of starts to overlap more with, like, kind of the almost to be to not to be part of ethics, in which, like, you know, a utilitarian would say that you should pick the job that benefits society the most. Like, what you should do with your life is whatever benefits the society the most. And, like, whatever everyone should do is, like, what would benefit the society the most. And so there is kind of this uniting principle of what is good. And kind of similar under Kant, because it's like, okay, well, like, there is some uniting logic here of what is good and what is not good. And so we should all do what's good. Whereas Aristotelian ethics is more like, no. Like, there's kind of a chief good, but, like, not really. Like, everyone, there is a chief good that everyone should achieve for, but it's not universal. It's not everyone has the same goal, the same good. And that, like, our goods vary from person to person. Your goods may be one thing, my chief good may be another thing. And so, instead, what you should do is pursue that. And that's what's ethical. And it's, like, kind of a bit of a cop-out, low-key. Because it's like, okay, it's not so much rating things on, like, their function in society, what's ethical and what's not. Or it's not a great comparison between that and, like, those other kinds of ethics I just mentioned. Like, it doesn't necessarily stand in opposition, I feel. Or, like, it kind of does, perhaps, in the saying that there isn't a chief good that you need to follow. But, I don't know. But, is there anything in here? But, like, those were the kinds of philosophy we learned about. The one issue with the kind of Aristotle philosophy is that it's like, everyone needs to go find what their chief good is, what they're best at, so that they can, it's all about the pursuit of this, like, feeling of eudaimonia, which is supposed to be this, like, pure moment, this moment of, like, pure bliss that we're all supposed to discover and achieve. And it's, like, varies from person to person how you do that. And so it's like, okay, so it's up to you. The telos is, like, the method that you can find that in. So you need to go develop your own telos. You need to go, like, find that and discover that. And so it's like, I think then teleology, is that it? Is like then this idea of like, okay, now you like going and figuring that out. The flaw in that though is that it's like, it's very like conceptual, I guess. And that it's like, okay, just go do it. It's like, well, how? Well, I don't know. Just go find what's best for you. Well, I don't know what's best for me. Well, kind of like too bad. It's like, you know, you go find it. And also, admittedly, I think Aristotle kind of had it from more classist viewpoints, where he was like, yeah, well, there's like some people that like low-key it doesn't fucking matter. Like low-key, don't worry about this shit. Like, you're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. And it's like, I think because I was like kind of siding with like slaving and shit. So like that's kind of fucked, obviously. But like those are kind of like, besides the Aristotle, which more begins to dabble in like what's the point of it all kind of a philosophy. Like those are more, I believe, metaphysics. I believe that's metaphysics. Or ontology, is that it? It's not oncology, that's cancer. I think it's metaphysics. And there might be some on whatever. Like, that's that kind of philosophy. I'm gonna help you down from up there. And, just go. Yeah, you're fine. And it's like, those are interesting, admittedly. I won't deny that. But I don't find them as interesting as more of like the, what's the fucking point of it all philosophy. Which I believe, like, the big picture of that is like, the catch-all term for that is existentialism. Actually, I may be wrong. Let me Google that. Branches of philosophy. Yeah, so metaphysics is what we were talking about. Wait, but what's the difference between metaphysics? No, metaphysics is this. Metaphysics is this, of what's the point. Ethics, philosophical ethics is what I was just talking about. No, I don't believe, is existentialism really like its own kind of branch of philosophy? Because like, low-key, I don't fuck with that. No, metaphysics is like Pythagorean theorem. So I was talking about ethics. But then I guess, yeah, I guess existentialism is kind of like its own branch. And so existentialism includes, this is now back off the dome. Existentialism includes like, existentialism's its own idea and its own philosophy. But then I guess as a branch, it also includes things like nihilism and absurdism. Because the idea of the branch is like an analysis of why do we live? Like, what's the point? And so like, obviously everyone, I feel like nihilism has become a very commonly understood concept, perhaps in a watered down way that is maybe inaccurate. The idea that like, well, nothing fucking matters. But I think, I don't know, there's certainly some history there that I'm unfamiliar with about nihilism. Because like, of course, Nietzsche, however you say his name, was a nihilist. and he like kind of created the whole thing, or at least popularized it. But I believe he was like, he did that. I don't know. This is a combination of different, hearing it from different places. But I think it's like, he started off an existentialist. Or I guess I should start by explaining existentialism. Or existential, whatever. Which is kind of like I think it's like, it started as like a deviation from essentialism. So essentialism is the idea that like, okay, you're here for a reason. No, is that it? Is that fucking it? What is essentialism? Essentialism's like I think it's like you're here for a reason. Acknowledges the primary of essence. Oh, come on. Everything has an essence. So everything is like made of something. Right? Essentialism is everything has a purpose. And then existentialism is more like we have a purpose. Or like there is a purpose to our lives. Essentialism's like part of metaphysics. In that, like, the building blocks of life. Existentialism versus essentialism. Let me read this random Medium article. Essentialism. People and things have natural and essential common characteristics. They're all inherent and unchanging. There's all an underlying reality that one cannot observe directly. And it kind of leans itself to God, I think. Whereas existentialism is more like you can find your own meaning. There is meaning. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so essentialism is like there is a specific meaning low-key for everyone. And like that might just be God or religion or whatever. And then existentialism is that like, well, no. There isn't a specific meaning, but like there is a meaning, and it's up to you to find that meaning. And like everyone has their own meaning, I think. But then, in response to that, there was then the creation of nihilism, which was that nothing fucking matters. There is no meaning. And I think then that gets commonly misinterpreted to perhaps be overly doomer. At least more than it's intended to be. Because I don't think that viewpoint by itself is meant to be like, nothing matters, anarchy, burn everything down, everything sucks, get depressed and shit. I think it's more of that like, in a lighthearted way. Well, nothing matters. We're all gonna die. We're just little flat pieces of goo on this watery marble in the middle of the galaxy. So, whereas of course it's like, contrast that with existentialism, where it came from, which is more like, well, there is a purpose. Shit's confusing, but there is a purpose. And so then, those are like those two opposing things. And so if I'm correct, I think Nietzsche, I don't know. I'm not a Nietzsche fan. Nor am I a hater, but he started off as an existentialist. Am I saying that right? Existentialist. He started off as an existentialist, and then maybe he got turned to the dark side and went all nihilist. But I think in his later life, he then realized like, oh, people gonna get like really depressed for my shit. And so I don't know if he converted back to an existentialist or if he was just like, no, nihilism's not that depressing. But then I think like it kind of got picked up. He died. Then his sister, who was like a literal Nazi back in Germany, picked it up. She made it so that it was more Nazi-y. And then after the Nazis you know, died, then people were like, yo, not this Nazi, like, not to this degree. And so then she, like, laid back, or then they fixed it. But then kind of during this time, then was Camus, who I personally find the most interesting. Because it's more of the idea of that everything is meaningless. But the meaning is the meaninglessness. Or the meaning is struggling with the meaninglessness, in a way. Like, the meaning is the daily meaninglessness. And so that is, like, why there's been this is like a year or two ago at this point, but the meme of the myth of Sisyphus, which was, like, it's this, you know, this tale from Greek mythology of this guy who's forever punished by Zeus, and he has to, like, every single day push a boulder up a mountain. And that's his daily task, and he has to do it every day. And then at the end of every day, it rolls all the way back to the bottom. And so then it's like, you know, I think the existentialist would say, like, okay, well, the purpose is to get it to the top, I guess. The existentialist would say that perhaps in a, you could maybe say more naive idea set to say, well, there is some point. You're pushing it to the top. The nihilist would say, there's no point, because it keeps rolling back down. So what's the point, I think. Again, I'm not that knowledgeable in nihilism, nor really any of these, but it's from, like, online searches and investigations. But then the absurdist would say, well, there isn't a point. Or if there is a point, there's not necessarily a point. But if there would be a point, it would just be pushing the fucking boulder up every single time. Because that's all there is to life. Life is just the daily mess. Life is what you do. It's the things that exist, no matter how illogical they may feel. And so, to kind of mentally deal with that, and to deal with the way these things fit into our lives, is to deal with the absurd. And it's to struggle to that. This is from reading The Myth of Sisyphus, the book that Camus wrote. I'm like, I don't know, maybe a fourth of the way in. That's maybe being generous. And so, like, you know, that's the point. The point is that you know is the boulder. You push the boulder. That's the point. It's what you do every day. That's the point. There's no use in debating that. There's no use in crying over that, because it's just kind of what it is. And to give up would be to give up on meaning. He talks about at the start of the book that, like, he almost starts it as, like, an attack at nihilism, because maybe nihilism was just popular at the time, or I don't know. But he starts off by saying, like, well, look, nihilists argue that nothing's the point. There is no point. Life is meaningless. And that then maybe the logical solution would be suicide to end the meaninglessness. But how many nihilists have committed suicide? And he's like, only 3. Only, like, 3 real nihilists committed suicide. And, like, this isn't a laughing matter. This is still suicide we're talking about. But, like, there have only been 3 people who have reasoned through nihilism in order to reach the point that is that suicide is the answer. So, like, that's clearly an indication of something. That perhaps it's not. And so that instead, I'm going to torch this area up so I know where it is. I don't know. So instead there's some point. Even though there is no point. And so the point is the fact that there is no point. The point is the daily struggle. The dailiness of things. And I think, like, I find that philosophy certainly the most interesting out of the ones I'm knowledgeable of. Because I would feel it's one that I don't know. It feels like a mix, a solid mix of the dreariness of nihilism, Even if nihilism is incorrectly portrayed and there is actually some meaning in it. Or there is no meaning, but there is meaning that you can find, or there is solace in it. Alright, you two will attack each other. And then like a good mix between that and like raw existentialism, which almost feels too happy-go-lucky at times. Like there is a point. Well, what's the fucking point? If it's up to me to find the point, then I don't know what the fucking point is. How am I supposed to find the point? And then goes back to the criticism of Aristotle. Where is this point that we're talking about? Is it in the room with us right now? I'm likely very falsely discussing these points. But that's fine. But so it feels like a solid mix because it's like, well, there is no point. Because it kind of feels like there isn't. You ever think about that? Like, what's the point? The point is one's own personal satisfaction. Well, then we're kind of back to utilitarianism. But that's not a way to think about life. That's a way to think about your actions. And so if you go about all your life thinking about what benefits you as the individual, then you should just sit around and masturbate all day and eat chocolate. That's nearly a direct quote from my professor. He's like, well, then that seems like that's the point. But it's like, okay, then that's purely just like appealing to your own desires. Whereas in reality, the point is the struggle. The point is the looking back at the boulder, realizing what you did, and then realizing the next day you're going to push it back up and finding some solace in that. Finding content in that. Satisfaction. That is a shrieker. Okay, well, in that case, we have 7 diamonds. I can get however many more from there. We can keep going around. I might be able to go bust it, but that kind of feels like an unnecessary risk when in hardcore. But yeah, so I've been trying to get back into reading. It's just a struggle. Because I think, admittedly, while I do find these concepts incredibly interesting, they're still dense. And it's written in like 1940s, what, Camus' French, I think. And then it's translated into English, so like 1940s translated English. So I've also been starting like creating a list of new words that like the translation uses that are just unfamiliar to me and putting them in my vocabulary or trying to incorporate them into my vocabulary. But like, I find that interesting, and because I also feel like that kind of thought, while simultaneously depressing, also helps one become a more well-rounded individual to think about things such as, what's the point? Like, what are we doing here? Because in a way that kind of feels like, I mean, philosophy as a whole kind of, to a lot of people, I could see as just being entertainment for those who have the ability to think about more than just themselves, more than just the material needs. But I think it can equally be a useful tool. And I think also whether or not one wants to fucked with my eye there. Whether or not one wants to acknowledge it, it is still a core building block of like our lives, is how your perception of the world. And that like maybe just because you reject the idea of philosophy doesn't mean that you reject its practice. Because if you go through life daily in the toil and you come out of it feeling exhausted and like there is no point and exhausted from it and like maybe you should just put an end to it, then even though you might say, well, philosophy is for those rich enough to be able to spend their time thinking about it, you have found yourself in a nihilistic perspective. If you see that life is just like the purpose is to provide wealth for your family and to, you know, make suffering or provide comfort that way, then, you know, even if it doesn't feel like philosophy, even if it feels like common knowledge, logic, then still existentialism. Yeah, okay. This is a better route down than whatever I have. Build a tower. Where am I? Is that the village down there? No, I think I'm over here. Or I think that's where my house is. Is it? Snow's there. No, my house is like down here. Okay. My house is like there. Ow. So I'm trying to read that. Because it's interesting. But it's also dense. And I also feel like, I don't know. It feels like a cop-out to, even with these old theories and shit, how, like, dated their wording is to the time period. Like, it kind of feels like a cop-out to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to use the Spark Notes and then say that I read it. Because then you didn't fucking read it. You didn't. You ingested its ideas, perhaps, but you didn't read it. Part of reading is the struggle to understand it. It's not just the sludge entering your brain, ingesting the ideas. If you want to do that, just fucking read the scrolling bit of text that's at the bottom of the 24-hour news cycle. There you can just ingest pure knowledge. Or just read, I don't know. Read whatever. There's no, like, you just want that raw slop. The point of reading an ancient philosopher, the point of reading a philosopher is to understand their perspective and to think about it and be forced to think about it. See how it fits into your own way of thinking that you've established independently. So you're not doing that if you're just watching some fucking YouTube short about it. Anyway. Alright, let's make a diamond pick. Okay, now to find lava. I should also get a bucket of water. I don't know. I find philosophy interesting. Because, like, what is the point? You know? I mean, maybe that's just me saying it because it's someone struggling to find the point. I think it's easy to say what the point is when you feel like you've already achieved it in a way. When you're content with the way that you're thinking. Whereas if you're not, or if you're thinking too much, or content with the way you're living, I should say, not the way you're thinking. If you're content with it enough that you don't need to find justification, or to find reason behind it, or to look for reason, I don't know. And I think also I'm seeing more the value of, it's gonna sound dumb, reading, more recently, because it's like seeing things, I don't know, like even that moment during the stream yesterday where I realized like, oh shit, this is what we're talking about here is similar to that of what I read in a book for one of my classes. Like I think reading nonfiction is, I don't know, something underrated that I hadn't previously thought about as much. Because previously I had just seen nonfiction as like nonfiction storytelling. It's like, well, that's kind of fucking boring. I don't care about history that much. I mean, even though there are times where history is relevant and interesting, it's like, all things considered, I don't care about it that much. But it's like, also, nonfiction is also just like people's thoughts and shit. And like, those are good too. Those can be helpful too. So like, what we were watching yesterday of the Ethan Klein debate, there were notes certainly being picked up there that were akin to that of what I read about from people who were like, where did I put it? Maybe I didn't do it high enough. Similar to people who wrote about like civil rights movement and shit. So reading from them, spotting the similarities. It's interesting. Helps. Certainly from a rhetorical perspective as well, because you can be like, oh, well, I fucking read this author, and then you sound smarter. Where's the damn poll? Guess I didn't do it high enough. It's just hard. I don't know. I think the first nonfiction book that I really read, Bones. Hello, doggy. How could I get you bones? Well, I know you're here now. So I guess I can go sleep, grab bones, and then grab you. I think the first nonfiction book that I felt like really stuck with me was... I read it in maybe senior year, end of senior year, right before college. It was The Algebra of Happiness by Scott Galloway. I had previously read some nonfiction books before that. But they were mostly like self-help books, and those kind of blow as for a large part. And Algebra of Happiness is certainly more interesting. I think it's like, I don't know. That was what kind of made me fall in love with Scott Galloway's writing style, despite the fact that he's exhibits some annoying liberal tendencies, but that's besides the point. But like, I don't know, how he's able to very bluntly talk about these things in a way that feels very personable and amicable and like both full of yourself while humble. Like aware of your, like confident in yourself, but aware of your flaws, which I found certainly interesting. And yeah, and so that book really stuck with me. And I've wanted to reread it, and I've tried rereading it, and I have, like, most of it. But there's one section in there that's like... There's one section in there that I find myself hesitating to get into. About, like, romance and shit. Because while I do like his writing on it, certainly a lot, I wonder about its effects on me. Admittedly, it's been like years since I read it, so I might be inaccurately remembering it. But I don't know. Perhaps I could find levity in it, or perhaps I could not. Perhaps it would be depressing. But so that book is kind of a lot of like, it's where the point of like economics, it like gets into like political philosophy, I guess. And by that, I mean like where the point of like political philosophy and metaphysics, I guess, would be the terms that you could use, the buzzwords. And by that, I just mean like the points to where economics and math get to such a degree that it starts... Homie, what are you doing? What was that? Come on. Bones. Look, it's bones. I don't remember what I was saying. I don't know, so I like that book a lot. And so that's why I got the other Scott Galloway book that I have. My butt is getting sore in this chair. I may need a break soon. But so like that's kind of why I've been looking more into nonfiction and philosophy and stuff, because again, I always find those things kind of interesting. And I had previously read some excerpt when the myth of Sisyphus meme was going off. I read some excerpt from the book, I think, that I found interesting, and so that's why I've been more so preferential to absurdist philosophy ever since. There's another dog. I don't have any bones. Okay, whatever. Where is that damn cobble thing I built? I should have wrote the coordinates down. Can I type in chat? I can. Add. Man, where the fuck did I put it? It was like on the other side of this ridge. Oh, I should be looking at multi-chat. Oh, there's nothing in multi-chat. Okay. I've only had Twitch chat pulled up this whole time. I don't know. I think also I've been recently finding myself more and more dissatisfied with the status quo of things. Not like on a, more so on a personal level, I would say. Like, there's games that I own that I would probably like that I haven't played because it's like, I don't care. Like, I could probably become obsessed with them for like a week and then grind them out and get 100%. It's like, eh. Where the hell is this thing? It's like around here, isn't it? I should chop down the trees near it once I find it. I should also write the chords down for it once I find it. Alright, I'm about to just start chopping trees down anyway. Become the onceler on this shit. Man, and now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, upset with the status quo. It's like, eh. There's, you know. Yeah, I got games I could play, and I probably enjoy them a lot. But it's like, I don't care. There's, like, certainly some TV shows and movies I could watch, but I don't care. Like, I do, but, like, it's not super fulfilling. You know, I'm in my, like, yearly musical lull. I hit this around May, like, every year. I think because it's like right when the seasonal depression wears out. When I've been listening to a lot of music before that, like during that period. So it's like, well, I don't know what the fuck to listen to now. Besides like listening to my liked playlist on shuffle. And so I just kept thinking back to Minecraft and shit. In spite of the horrid fucking movie. I don't know. The movie was something. I didn't like the movie. But it feels like to go online and trash it is to a certain degree, what's the phrase? Yick someone's yum? And it's like, there's no point. I think the no point thing has also been coming into a lot of my reasoning. Because I'm getting on this, like, very... Dog, I cannot find this fucking thing. I've just been walking around in a circle for like 20 minutes. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? Hello? The yick someone's yum? Is that the phrase? My dogs. Okay, so I know the dogs are here. Yeah, hi. I'm not fucking with you. Where the hell is the damn monolith I built? Yeah. Jesus Christ, I've been wandering this whole damn day. Where the hell is it? Where the fuck did I put it? Man, where the hell is it? It was in the grass. Man, where the hell am I? Ow. I found myself falling into, like... I want to describe... This isn't enough food. I spent all this time looking for this damn place, and now I don't have enough food. I think... Okay, it's here. I'm gonna create a trail of torches. I've been finding myself getting caught in the, like... I want to describe it as postmodern, but I don't know if that's the correct term, necessarily. Of just, like, essentially overthinking the art. Because, like, at the end of the day, whether you want to call it slop or not, this is still... The process of making a YouTube video is still some kind of art form. I won't argue that it... How the... Dude, come on. I won't... Oh, hi, Bones. I thought you were a villager. I won't... Like, I call it slop a lot. I think it is slop to some degree. But I kind of feel like... yeah, I hear you, Bones. I kind of feel like... I don't know. It is still an art form. To some degree. You're still being creative and still making some piece of media. And so more recently, I've been finding myself getting caught in the mental trap of like, okay, well, what's the point of what I want to make? What's the point of these things that I'm thinking of making? What's the point of making them? Like, is it just to yick someone's yum? Most times, no. Luckily, which has been almost refreshing. Because I've found myself concerned of doing that, since I certainly don't want to turn into someone like Asmongold. Okay, come on, guys. But it's like, it almost feels like I find myself I don't know, I'm struggling to like, what's the point of making these things? What's the point of the Jake Knight show? I don't know. The first one was made to like air a grievance functionally. To be a depiction of how something could have been made better. Because I was dissatisfied with the late night show that I was working on. Am working on. And I felt it was frequently not as good as it could have been. Through unintentionally or intentionally, I don't know. And so I was dissatisfied and upset with that. And so I made the Jake Knight show to be like a parody of it in a way. But then I also admittedly realized that some aspects of it were harder than I anticipated. And I then completely like changed the style in a way that was able to maintain some senses of my original criticism while also still trying to make it its own piece of media that was like something in and of itself. So like that's the point of the first Jake Knight show. The second Jake Knight show was then because I had an idea about doing the Muppets thing, or I got it from that Twitter user, and then I felt like, oh, I can say some stuff about the Trump tariffs and shit. But then that's like it. And so then from there it was building out further of like, okay, well, you know, what did I do for the previous Jake Knight show? Well, I had a guest, had a monologue, I had another segment, but I don't have ideas for the other segment and stuff. That's why, like, one of the things I didn't like as much about the second Jake Knight show is because it was more, there's certainly a lot more aspects of it that were made for humor, I guess, is the correct way to put it. They were made to fill time to be entertaining rather than the first one, which was more of like pure ideas and pure like, I want to do these things. This was more like to match the formula, which in the end, I think made for a worse product. You know, and it's like, I think that's fine at the end of the day. I think it was good enough. I think I didn't want to keep waiting around until I had some like burst of energy and motivation for what would be a better thing to do instead. But, you know, I think like the Dylan interview is, well, the Dylan interview is like the one exception to the whole thing. The Dylan interview is like explicitly made to be kind of self-reflective. Whereas like that's kind of the only thing explicitly made for that purpose as part of the Jake Knight show. Which is part of the reason I really like the first one, was because a lot of it was made to be that through a completely different style. And, you know, a lot of the other elements of the second Jake Knight show still had a lot of those reflective stuff. Like, I made it a point, at some point I was thinking to myself that everything in the second Jake Knight show has at least 2 meanings to it. Perhaps 3. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I don't know if that's applicable across the board or just like 80% of the board. But it's like the Asmongold thing, for example. Or no, I'll use the Dylan example. Like, obviously, that's like, it's an interview with a dragon. That's part of it. Part of the humor comes from the fact that it's this puppet that's saying he's a depressed dragon. That's like first meaning. Check. Sure. Simple. First meaning. Second meaning is the like, it's very clearly meant to be like not necessarily the views of myself. That's not the explicit intent. Is it to be seen as a reflection of my own views? However, it is a reflection of my own views. Like all those questions from Dylan and the kind of self-existential crises were like, I just on the subway just babbled on a Google Doc, and like that was that. It was practically speaking from the heart. I mean, you can see it. I try to make it general enough. and like not too specific, but I think it's pretty obvious that it is just like a direct line from my thoughts. I don't know. I think then while I was writing it, if you want to say there's a third meaning to that, one of the things we learned in my media criticism class, it was like one of the first things we talked about, is essentially the idea of like, okay, whether or not a meaning is intentional in media, like it can still exist. Like you can, I saw a rephrase on Twitter in an interesting way that like, okay, all art may not be made to be political, but it still has political meaning to it. Like it may have not had political intent, but it still exists politically, and that it has meanings behind it. It's because I saw a lot of conversation about this over, what was it, like Cyberspark or Shafrillas or whatever. One of those people goes at 4. So for media, like, okay, even though the creator of a film may only see it as like, oh, this was the only intended meaning, that doesn't mean there doesn't exist another meaning in that. Like part of the meaning comes from one's own interpretation of a piece of media. So then like, okay, and like you can create your own meaning a lot of the times from art that you perceive. It's like to a certain degree taking authorship away from the artist, but like that's just an inherent part of consuming media. But so in that same idea, if you then, you know, like that was, at least at the time, all I was intending that I can think of for the Dylan interview. But it's like, you want to add those additional levels. You want to say there's even more meaning. Okay, well, you can easily glean that, like, one thing I kind of just naturally stumbled upon while writing, this music's very inspirational while I'm talking about pretending to be a depressed dragon puppet. One of the things I kind of naturally stumbled upon in writing the Dylan script was the thing of, like, becoming a puppet to the establishment. Or like a puppet to the status quo, to the system that hates me as much as I hate it. And it's like, that was just something that kind of like naturally worked out. But if you want to say like, oh, well, maybe I was deeper thinking that. Okay, maybe. If you want to use a generous perspective, then sure, I'll take the additional credit. But like, certainly the argument can be made that like, that's just how it turned out. Was just that, yeah, an additional meaning here is further exemplification of the discomfort and the kind of lack of autonomy in the system that exists because of the fact that, like, Dylan himself, while he's struggling to think about where he is in society, is, like, still ultimately a puppet. And I also didn't want to do, I considered doing, like, not quite a fourth wall break, but like similar to what Bo Burnham did with the That's How the World Works puppet, where like you have a direct moment of the puppet kind of forced to being acknowledged that he is a puppet and like talking about that. I thought about that and I almost did that. I don't know why I chose against it. I'm kind of happy I did. For one, just to not play too much into the one-to-one similarities with Bo Burnham, but also to like, I think it's better to have it purely exist as like, this is an individual rather than a prop for a media play. Where are the damn dogs? But so like, there were deeper intended meanings. Like, as I said with Dylan, you can pick apart those things that he said and directly apply it to things in my life. Was it intended to be a representation of purely solely me? No. Was it meant to be a representation of the ideas held by me? Yes. It's like the Asmongold one, in addition, for example, was, you know, partially just to be a criticism, satire in a way of Asmongold. Of the fact that, like, you know, his Twitch chat, ooh, that's bad news. Okay, phew. Let me go back to bed. Like, part of that obviously is meant to be a critique of like Asmongold and those other right-wing influencers. Like, you can very clearly see it, or in my mind clearly see it, in both the... I tried to do the cadence, but I don't honestly watch him that much, and I couldn't make myself. I couldn't force myself to do that to myself. But like some of the things I said about like a rat in the room or some cockroaches, or I mentioned fucking with my teeth and them bleeding, like those are all direct Asmongold things. I also intended for like, I like came up with the idea for what to say like right beforehand, I think. Like I knew I was going to be critical of the lead guitarist and nicer on the bassist because that was part of the goal, but also just like naturally that's how the song was. Like I had that in mind, but then like the flip-flopping on Wallace, on like, I don't know, I guess in a way, in a sense, objectifying Wallace. But so like that was part of it, was to just do that like criticism of Asmongold, because also there was some developer I saw online who was saying how like they had a game trailer that was watched by Asmongold and like his chat were unsure of whether or not they should be calling it DEI or like based, because it was like women as the main characters, and so of course that's like, oh, woke representation, whatever. But then it was also I guess like attractive women. And so, and also these are people who hyperfixate over like anime and shit, whatever. And so like an Eastern fetishization. And so like that's why, you know, I had that flip-flopping on Wallace. And I also in the moment couldn't think of any like solid, I don't know, I guess it's not completely objectifying her to, no, I guess it is in a way, to just call her a smoke show. But it's like, I didn't know what to say for that. That was spur of the moment, because I did that all in one take. In the first take. And so, it was like, I don't know. I just, you can see me sputtering around for a word and just calling her a smoke show. Which was just like, outdated term. That was the goal. Homie. 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 Jesus Christ. Greedy bastard. But like, so there's that. There was also, if you want to extract meaning behind the song choice, you can. It was just, it's largely just been music that I find myself connecting to a lot that are in the given week that I feel like would function well as a finale song. So like, I almost did, ooh, you're not going to be fun. Give me your bones. Fuck. Oh, that was almost bad. Okay. I don't know if that would have killed me, but it was certainly got me close. The music choice, you can assign whatever meaning you want to that. That's like whatever. The music for the first Jake Knight show was a lot more intentional than this one, because of course it's Curtains to Close is a song that I like a lot from The Jester. And I think it's also mentally was very, or like its tone was something akin to what I was looking for. And so like, yeah. And also the fact that it's just like talking about the end of the show, but also like doing whatever is necessary in order to like become successful in the eyes of the machine. Funeral, that was just more of like, I don't know. I don't know what made me decide to do it. It's a song I've liked for a while. I think if anything, I thought more, oh, I wanted to go back to get the, get so damn distracted in Minecraft. I had planned out that joke for the Elton John one more so than the specific song I was going to go to next. And that was something that was just like, that kind of also naturally came into place. And that was like, okay, well, I'm ending with Dylan. I want to end with a joke. I liked the Baker Act joke ending, because it's like, I want to, in a way, play more into those like suicidal themes. And so then how do I go off of that? Well, you know, a joke you can make off of that is to then be like, oh, okay, that's a lot. Anyway, here's even more. That's like the obvious one. So that's what I went with. Hi, Bones. But so, the funeral song, that was just, yeah. It just shows that. Whatever. Again, you want to read a deeper meaning into the fact that it's funeral and talking about death, you can. It wasn't intended. But then on top of that, like the criticism of the guitarist over the bassist, of course that part's natural to the song because at least as the way I built the chords or the charts, it was that like the lead guitarist has a much more advanced section, faster section that was just a lot. It's still hard to do. Like I still struggle with that one. Even though I made it, it is still quick and a lot of different buttons and shit. Probably more overcomplicated than it actually would be in reality, but nevertheless, like I think more rewarding as a result. Still difficult though, very difficult. But so then part of the goal behind that was to like, and in comparison to the bassist, who has a relatively lighter track, the goal behind that was to then more show like, not quite a feeling of double standards, but like, you know, almost like the guitarist has a harder thing to do, but a more impressive thing to do. And to then to like just be like, oh, fucking idiot, can't do it. It's like, well, you're judging him off of a basic metric in a way. Or it's like he has an explicitly harder? I don't know if that's the right usage of that word. Like a definitely harder thing to do. So to then criticize him off of, in comparison to the less hard thing to do, is, you know. I mean, for the Asmongold in particular, it's disingenuous. For the greater societal question, you know, it's just like misinformed. Can I kill a creeper with 4 arrows? I don't have 4 arrows. Okay. Let's keep you in the water. I think also the bit at the very end, when I got a new high score on the track, that was actually just spur of the moment in the recording. I would think that's obvious, but I mean, I don't know. People have both over-examined and, or have, over-expected and under-expected how much thought I put into it. Like, that was just pure because of what happened in the game. I just did get a new high score. And so then, like, the rest of the track was kind of thinking about a way to properly utilize that if I wanted to utilize that. So that's like a pseudo-genuine reaction, I guess. Because I was shocked about getting a new high score. Because I did do that like ass. But also that section's very hard. So, you know. And then, I mean, the Jake Kessler thing, the name is meant to be, what is it? Who's the fucking, like, guy for, like, CNBC or MSNBC or some fucking Stocks news station? It was like, it's something Kramer. He's, like, always wrong. Or he's known for being always wrong. And he, like, talks in that kind of nasally, high-pitched voice. So, like, that was the idea for that. I admittedly don't know much about him. But that was, like, who I was loosely basing it off of. So then Kessler was, because I think his name is, like, Scott Kramer or something. Oh, shit, that's a trial room? That's crazy. But his name is, like, Scott Kramer, I think. I still need lava. His name is, like, Scott Kramer. You know, trying to spin it off of that. I wanted it, since it is the Jake Knight show, and I like the idea of it being completely insular and, like, incestuous. I feel like I'm using overly big words in ways that aren't necessarily applicable, but because I like to, like, stretch them. not as like a way to brag, but as like a way to be like, yeah, these kind of fit. But also I'm spitballing, and also like I've done this before in writing, of like I found myself very frequently in essay writing and shit. I'll be like, this and this, it's this and this. Like in describing something, I'll do a combo objective. It's this and this. Because it feels like just being like, it's this. It's tiresome. That's not a good example. But it's like, oh, the tiresome work. It's like, okay. But if you're like the tiresome and grueling work, it's like, oh, it's worse. But it's also, that's where the shrieker is. It's also like, I don't know, something that if you're observing the pattern in yourself, then, you know, it certainly means it's likely observable in your writing. Who's after me? But so the Kessler name, that was then something from, because his name is Kramer. So I wanted the same Jake, right? Because it's the Jake Knight show. I wanted it to be constantly a conversation with myself. If anything, I kind of have mixed feelings on the fact that I chose the different facial hair, because then it almost like makes it into more of a character. And like I think it would have been perhaps separately funny to just have it be like just exactly me. It's like, here's Jake Stalvey for more about the tariffs. Hi. Hi again. Of course the joke in there of like the Zoom delay is just, or like the conference delay is just meant to be like one at like how normal news stations, it's like, Bob, how are you doing? And there's like 3 seconds of awkwardness and delay. It's like, I'm doing well. And it's ultimately because it's like, I assume it's something to do with the fact that, you know, the person from the studio is the one queuing the person in. Then you have the inherent delay that would occur as a result of, you know, oh, that's bad. All right, well, we're gonna go back up. The inherent delay that would occur as a result of, you know, telecommunication, as a result of a phone call, a video call, and because of the fact that it's, you know, likely the news station itself that they're broadcasting from that is doing the like, how are you doing, Ted? Like the queuing up, then means that there's of course going to be a delay when they cut to the other person, because that's where they're broadcasting from. Nevertheless, so I wanted to keep the first name Jake. The joke, of course, is that the last name, because his name is Kramer. I then went to Seinfeld, and I don't know why I didn't just make his name Kramer. I guess I felt it would have been too on the nose. But I went and found, because Kramer in Seinfeld's name wasn't originally Kramer. It was, I always thought it was like Karawatts or something, but I guess it was Kessler originally. So I found that on like the Seinfeld wiki. And it's like, you only see it in like 2 episodes of Seinfeld. It's in like the pilot, and it's in one episode where they like do time backwards, and then they make a joke about it happening before like the main events of the show. That was the name. Kessler's the bit that I was the least confident in. And that's why I think it's, at least to me, it's clear from the way it's edited. Because at a certain point when I was editing the Kessler bit, I was just like, all right, this is fucking boring. Like, it was fun to record, but then watching it back, there's only so much you can do with it. And so I was like, all right, this is getting boring. And so that's why I just did so much shit with the editing. Because it was just like getting bored. So it's just like adding needless transitions. And so part of that's like, if you want, again, adding meaning where there isn't meaning. I'm lagging in a single player world. Adding meaning where there isn't necessarily, or isn't intended meaning. You could say it's like, oh, you know, uh, fucking, I don't know. You could say something. You know, oh, retention spans, whatever. The truth is, I was just unhappy with it. I was unhappy with the product. So I just wanted to butter it up. Yeah, I fucking hear you, dude. And so that's where the jokes came from. And then from that, it was then just more like... That's where the transitions come from. Oh, what I was going to say is that if you want to ascribe meaning to it where there might have not necessarily been any, you could say that, like, oh, it's the filmmaking thing of, like, a lot of, whatever, people who are just... There's, like, a curve. There's a learning curve. Of, like... People who... It's like that meme of the... person who's really smart and the person who's really dumb going back to the same idea. In that, like, the person who, like, a lot of beginners, myself included, when I was, like, really young, like, of course you start off with video editing and you're just like, all right, cut, basic transitions, whatever. But then you get older and more advanced and you're like, oh, there are options to do other things, other fancy transitions. And then you start doing this shit that George Lucas does, you know, with the circle fades and all that shit. But then it's like that kind of gets tacky to a point and it begins to, I think, I don't know, you can make differing arguments about it. From my personal subjective opinion, I feel like it then starts to like take you out of the movie. I mean, it's one thing if it's just like a circle blur, circle radial dissolve, whatever, which is like the George Lucas, which is just like, you know, everything slowly fades in around one central point to a different shot. Like, that's one thing. But if it's the shit that, like, I was doing of, like, the page peel and all that crap, it's like, that is, like, it gets to the point where it takes you out of it. Like, this is just, like, spamming different editing things over and over. Just for the sake of looking cool, because you think it looks cool. Whereas in reality, it takes you out of it. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of lava falls, not a lot of lava pools. And I definitely need the second over the first. So it's like, you could certainly say that. But then after I had already started, and I was already like, you know, being a bit incessant with the transitions and edits and stuff, then it got to more be like, not necessarily a challenge, but more of like a trying to utilize different editing like styles in modern day and different things. And so that's why, like, the You Got Mail, that was just because I was bored and like wanting to add shit that pops up. And so I was originally going to do like I did the political candidate ad. I had a second political candidate ad. I think I was going to do like a porn ad or something. That I didn't do because I was too lazy to record the voice lines. And yeah, and so that was like just pure, you know, stimuli. But then like with the Minecraft, or not the Minecraft, with the what is it? With the inflection point bit and how it's like top 10 Jake Kessler moments, that's, you know, not the most nuanced or like in-depth critique or spoof or homage, but like it's supposed to be like that of the like Gen Z style humor videos of like the top 10 Minecraft moments. And it's like 10 moments from the Minecraft movie you just played 3 times, and it's crazy and weird. So like there's that, obviously, or at least obvious to me. But I would think obvious to people. Unless you don't know that, or don't know about them. And then the core stuff, that's, you know, it feels kind of self-explanatory. with the core style, but like the core editing style of the like the whatever the fuck that song is called. It's like QWERTY or some shit. Forget the name of it. I need lava. But it's like, yeah, that's supposed to be an imitation of the core style. Because it's like, you know, the same music, the text on the screen, the kind of somewhat preachy messaging. Albeit a much more perhaps bizarre one, because it's saying to go run to the bank and buy gold and do a bank run. But yeah, I don't know. And then that one, if you, again, I'm just like doing nothing but sitting here playing Minecraft. And so if you want to attribute deeper meanings, you could say something like, oh, well, you know, it's also a critique of the kind of commercialized style of, you know, stock market economic speak. You could say that. It's not intentional. You could make that argument. I could make that a 250 page word argument. It's like, it just kind of came with the territory. It's like, I'm not saying this all to be like, oh, I'm such a fucking deep thinker. Because like, a lot of the added meanings, they're not the most depth. It's not like I'm making the damn lighthouse or Sinners or something. Sinners, which I haven't seen, even though I know I should. You know, talking about race relations and all this deep shit. I'm just making a video of me talking to a camera in my apartment alone. And if you want to add things in ways that those reflect back on culture, you can. But if anything, I felt like that was more... any cultural critique was more present in the first Jake Knight show than the second. But anyway, the whole reason I got to this was talking about the idea of why of making these things. And so for the Jake Knight show, the first one, as I said, was made to be a critique, I guess. Was made to prove a point. If you die from this, then you are an idiot and you're the same pig. No, no, no. No, you're getting pushed off. Such a stupid animal. Yeah, like, I don't know, overthinking what's the point of making things. Like, what am I trying to achieve from making it? What's my point to it? I don't know. Like I said, the first one was making a point. Second one felt more out of obligation, because I felt like the format could be used in that way. That's kind of the same reason I'm not going to, most likely not going to make a third one, even though I do have some ideas for like, because I'm going to, if I do it, I'm making an effort to change the credits one every time. Like the one in the credits every time, just because I realized for this one it was more of like, the second one it was definitely out of necessity, because I was like, I can't do another Q&A bit. Like that one was like, it proved the point that I wanted to make. It made the point that I wanted to make. To do it again would be redundant and boring. So I knew I needed something else. And so then that's why I did the Asmongold thing. I have a bit in mind for what I would do if I were to do it again. Like another end bit. That's not to say I'm going to use it. Because I don't know. I'm just going to kind of wait until it feels like... I don't know. I doubt that I make a third one. I mean, maybe I do, maybe I don't. It's not that big of a deal either way. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've explored that medium. And that was, in a way, the point I was trying to... or the goal in the first place. In a way. Like, using that medium in a specific way. And I feel like I used it. And there's nothing more I can really do to it. Besides, I don't know. Because I don't know how many fucking fake guests I can come up with either. Oh, I have an idea for another guest, but I don't know how much artistry I could infuse in that. Yo, it's the weird cows. What's up, weird cows? Like, I don't know how much deeper meaning I can do with it. It would purely be something for just, like, spectacle, and I think the bit would wear off pretty quickly. Yo, it's a weird pig. What's up, weird pig? Have they added, like, the bracken yet? What's this, the stick things? Have they added those? They haven't added, like, any point to them, really? Right? Like, it's just like they're there. And it's just like, you can fuck with them if they want, if you want. Like, there's nothing to achieve from the biome. I guess you don't always need something to achieve from a biome. It just helps with some world building, but I don't know. It's also like, I don't know what I can do for them. The monologue was certainly the hardest part, I discovered. Just because of my very lack of experience in doing anything like it. Even though I use a lot of humor in my stuff, it is incredibly rarely formatted in a setup punchline style. Like, I function a lot better responding to something or in a back and forth. Be mine, be mine, be mine. No, homie. Okay, fine, I'll tame you. No, come back. Asshole. Bro, there we go. There we go, okay. We got Bones and 2 others. I think... What do I think? I started an I think statement without knowing what I actually thought. I just want to see your speed. Lava! Don't jump into the lava, boys. Nor you! Jesus fucking Christ! Let's just water that up preemptively. Come on, you're pretty and white. You stand out from the pack. I don't like the pretty and white statement, but you did stand out from the pack. Okay, bro, come on. We can do this all day, home dog. There we go. Fair speed, solid health. All right, we're all sitting. We're all sitting. You, I can't make sit. What? Bones, come here. Bones, sit. Bones, sit. There we go. I don't want y'all falling in lava. I distinctly remember PSJ's cat falling in lava. I ain't making that same mistake again. Or I guess I never made it in the first place, but... I have to... Every single time I go to start an I think statement, I then spend it trying to remember where I was. And continue off of that. But I don't remember where it was. Oh, but so I'll probably not make a third. That's fine. There'll have to be some news or something that I find really demanding of that medium because of just, as I was saying, inexperience with the like monologue writing and stuff, so that part didn't feel fulfilling. Which is fine. You know, not for everyone. Allowed to try things. So I don't know. So then it's like, okay, well, what idea now? And I have some ideas for other videos. More so all like serious ones. I have an idea for a video that's just like gushing about Avatar: The Last Airbender. But that one I kind of run into the what's the point idea. Because what would be the point? What would my thesis be? I have a video idea about AI that I likely will do. Just because as the months go on, it certainly feels more pressing. Not pressing. Relevant. I had some other idea, but I forgot it. But it's like for streaming. I thought about streaming a lot, but I didn't this semester. Because like low-key, what's the point? What's the entertainment value I can provide? I don't know. It didn't feel like much. Nor does it kind of now. This is just as much, if not more, an exercise for commentary as it is content creation. Yeah, so I don't know. But that's why I haven't been streaming. And it's been not great. I think it's just getting caught in the loop of what's the point. And that's all there is to it. And the solution to that is to realize that there is no point, not necessarily. That I arguably may not be adding anything to the creator space. But that I still feel some kind of fulfillment out of it, or at least I wish I do. No, I do. And I do feel fulfillment out of it. But I wish that I could make some space for me so that I can get fulfillment and comfort, if that makes sense. You can ford this river. Or not. The dogs can't. The dogs will get banged up. Okay. But, yeah, and so, you know, that's that. Even though I know I need to be streaming more. I know I need to be doing more stuff. Ow, ow. That was really the theme of this semester, is realizing I'm not doing enough. Like, I would join projects of people, like films and whatever. And except for the short film that I did where I was on set, that one certainly was more of a task. It was rewarding, but it was also much shorter. It was only for 2 weekends. But it's like all these other ones where I'm signed on to do editing. So far, at least, the amount of work that's necessary for me to put in has felt laughable. That's perhaps maybe a overly arrogant way of putting it, I realize. But like, I don't know, it just hasn't felt like that requiring of energy. And especially when you then think back to like what I was saying about the doing less, doing not good enough, you know? Okay, I don't really have a place for the horse, I'm realizing. But so it's like, I'm participating in them, and does it feel like it's, I don't know. It's like, if you're gonna, really, that quickly? If you're gonna, like, make a film, because look, I'm not making a damn film. I realize that's a lot of work, but if you're making one, you should be putting in the right amount of work. Because I always think of things in comparison to every other piece of media out there, not in comparison to, I don't know, oneself, to the circumstances. Although perhaps I should. Get back here. No, get back here. Perhaps that makes me a more, I don't know, jaded person, or just like more hard on oneself. Okay, homie, here's what we'll do. We'll seal this up, and then we'll build some damn fences. Yeah, I know. Or, I don't want to build that many fences. Yeah, I think I'm just putting you in the cave. I can't be bothered to try to level out land and shit. So you're just going in the cave. I feel like there's some sort of whimsy. Why, dude? There's a sense of whimsy that I feel like I lack in comparison to someone like Paul Source Jr. or some of the older Minecraft content creators. God, you guys are ferocious. You know that? You're really something. Bro. You have the cave. I know it's not the best, but like, it's what you have. That's where you're going. Go back in the cave. Yeah, I know. I need a carpet. Shit. I'll just bust out for now. I know you don't like the cave, but like, brother, I don't know if I'm gonna die tomorrow and then delete this whole fucking place. Okay. Carpet. Great. Woof. Roof. 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 Okay, I need flint. I can make a enchantment table though. But I need leather for it. I need leather or flint. I don't know. Well, this semester has been certainly a bit of a letdown. I am hopeful for the next one. And the next one will truly be the make or break because it is the end of 2025. And there was the whole idea of dropout 2025. I think also I'll have more friends who are here because some of them were just like away or studying abroad or whatever. So it'll be the make or break. And then that'll be that. I don't know. But I also start to recognize that, like, okay, well, if I go through next semester and even let's say I fucking hate it, like, I'll still be 2 semesters away from graduating. So it's like, should I just finish it out, get the degree? You know, 60-70% of me says no. Fuck that noise. It doesn't matter. It's just a fucking bachelor's degree in visual media productions. That's not necessarily going to get you anywhere. And the other part of me is like, well, I already sunk in a few $100,000. So, like, why not just finish the job? And to that, I don't have a solid counter argument. Unless, of course, the opportunity presents itself where I'm suddenly boatloads of money, rich, famous from YouTube. But that is something that does not come when one expects it. I have learned. I have ideas for other shit. It's just, I'm not in a funny mood, is what I'm realizing. I am quite depressed as of recent. I am not upbeat. I am not hyper. I am not fueled by much. I am low. And so that means I make low content. I make things that are critical of other stuff. I make things that aren't necessarily the most original ideas, or rather reformulations or responses to other ideas. Not super fun, but part of life. And I think, like, I think the best thing I could do is realize, oh, I'm in bummer mood. I should make bummer video. Like, I'm kind of doing that. Not fully, but like kinda. Like lean into it more. You haven't grown once? Are you kidding? Bro, you're on the water. And so I think that's what I'll likely try to do over the summer, because like the AI video is certainly going to be, you know, not miserable, but critical. I had some other critical YouTube video idea I don't remember. Oh, I was thinking of doing one. I don't know if I'll do this. Noah Samson made a video called, what was it? Called, like, the YouTubers that supported a genocide, and he was just talking about YouTubers who, like, were pro-Zionist, or Zionist in their content and stuff in the time since October 7th. And so I had an idea of doing that, but, like, the universities, and using it as an excuse to shit on Emerson. Or not necessarily an excuse. Because I wouldn't be shitting on Emerson for the purposes of shitting on Emerson. If I was doing that, then I wouldn't use it through that avenue. But like as an important issue, and using Emerson as an example of that, but also talking about other schools like fucking, I don't know, like Columbia, NYU, Harvard, where else? UCLA, all these other places that have things going on with them. Diamond. Is it 2 diamonds? How many diamonds is it? Enchantment table. Bam. Unbreaking. Sweeping edge. I'd rather get the sharp one. Lapis. Bam. Bam. Sharp one. Pickaxe. I'll take efficiency 1. Can I make any diamond armor? I can. Chestplate. Let's do leggings. That's all I can do. Can't you trade with piglins for ender pearls? That might be something worth considering. Let me just see Let's see if I can get the blaze rods. Boop, 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 boop. 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 All right. Holy shit. Well, isn't that convenient? Okay. I need to break down into here. Damn, that's really convenient. That saves me a lot of time and energy. Hello? Dead end. Okay. Blaze farm was like that way. That is my stairwell. So I'm gonna bust through here. Oh, I went this way. Oopie. Take the nether wart while we're here. Oh, this is the stairwell, right? Okay. Hi. This is dumb of me to do. What the hell was that? Horse armor trimming? We take those. Dude, adding some armor trimming before fighting the Ender Dragon? Imagine. Okay, can you like come over here? What? Yeah, I know. I need you to come a little bit closer. Didn't have any. Okay. Hello, friendo. Shall we duel? On guard. That blows. Uh-oh, this is bad. Wow, they do a good bit of damage. Whoa, homie. I did not give you permission to do that. Fuck. Oh, you burnt the damn rod? Fuck. Yeah. That's bad. I got 1. That gets me 2, so I need 6? Fuck. Okay. Okay, where'd you go? Why are you here? Why did I do that? Ow! Go fuck yourself. Okay, you I should not hit. That is a problem. Pigman, I need you to get the fuck out of there. Cause I will hit you accidentally, and that is not part of the plan. Alright, I have 2. Can y'all like dip? Cause you're low-key making it quite hard. I guess I can try a different part. Nope, that's a dead end. Big men, I beg you, can you please exit from the blaze? Because I will hit you. And it will end poorly for all of us. Please? Pretty please? With a rose, a cherry on top? Could you possibly? It would help a lot. Okay, I need one of you to aggro on me. Yeah. Ow! Oh, that hurts a lot. Die, 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 die. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. You're still there! Brother, come on! I have 2. Fuck. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Nope. If I use an axe, I won't hurt him. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Run, 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 run. Crap. Damn, you do a lot of damage. Time to go, time to go, time to go. Regen, 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 regen. Okay, haha, okay, haha, okay, ha, okay, 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 haha. 4. Yeah, man, now I know you want out. I do too. But kind of getting gunned down here. I got 4. That gets me 8. I need 6. And piglins. Shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't gaff. I don't gaff. Are there any rods down there? Shit. Okay, that's fine. Hi, homie. Fuck. Fuck you. I'm not going down for that. Miss me with that ish. Miss me with that bullish. Miss me with that bush. Ayo. Al Gore be like? I don't need another fucking flint and steel. Okay. Give me a blaze. Give me a blaze. Give me... I just need 1. Or 2. Or more. But preferably just 1. 1 who will drop a blaze rod, to be clear. Asshole. Ah, crap. Yeah, I know. Oh, dear Lord. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, I think time to go is now. I think now is the time that we go. I think now is the time that we go. Fuck. Holy shit, a skull? Are you kidding me? Now is the time to go, though. So we will be leaving. I will be leaving. Fuck! Oh, that's almost bad. Thank you, Pigman. I don't have any other food. Crap. Don't tell me another spawn. Fat fingered the drop. Okay, we gotta go. No one come after me? Thank you. Okay. I'm running out of energy. How long have I been live for? 3:40? Alright, I think I might end at 4. At a solid 4. Just because the throat is getting sore. And I can tell I'm not yapping as much. But I should be back tomorrow. Because I have nothing fucking going on for the next, like, week. I have nothing going on. I am sitting here until, like, next Friday. And then I'm packing up my shit and leaving. So, kind of got some time to burn. Damn, you got some babies with you. I'll still eat them. Don't matter to me. Bam. 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 Okay. 21. 21. What's 9 plus 10? 21? You stupid. That kid's imaginative. You ever think about that? Why are we so quick to call him stupid? And truly, he's just a great thinker. You fucking... That kid, real shit, is the, like, 2016 equivalent of the Rizzler. You see the fact that the Rizzler posed up with Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Everyone's like, oh shit, it's the Rizzler and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. 2 fucking legends. And then there's some people who are hating, and they're like, dude, there's no fucking shot Julia Louis-Dreyfus knows who the Rizzler is. And then, like, a day later, Julia Louis-Dreyfus does an interview with, like, I don't know, GQ or someone. Hollywood Reporter, maybe. One of those. Not actually. Probably neither of those. It was like some, like, little press interview group. And she's like, yeah, no offense to the kid. No offense to the nice kid, but I had no clue who he was.
Congratulations for meeting the Rizzler last night.
Who knew?
Literally, who knew?
Yeah.
Do you know you've gone kind of like viral for that picture?
I really didn't know that. And no offense to that nice child, but I didn't know who he was. So there you go.
I mean, you guys looked very friendly, so I'm sure he'll be completely fine.
Yeah, he was pretty cute because he showed me his moves. Because he's dressed like Red Guardian. So I said, show me your Red Guardian moves.
Uh-huh.
Not knowing that he was the Rizzler.
Allegedly.
Allegedly the Rizzler. Right.
Big night for the both of you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so, yeah, in this film...
It's like, it's alright, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. You've had an accomplished enough career that you don't need to be bothered by the Rizzler. All you need to do is take photos with him. You know, Lewis Pullman, on the other hand, he was doing the Riz face, but you were on Seinfeld. You don't. It's not a big deal. just take a photo with the kid and let the internet be happy. Yeah, I see you, man. Alright. 41. 41? Low key, leaf litter too much. They got too much with it. They need to tune it down. That would be less. There's so much leaf litter. Maybe it just spawned in a lot. It just feels like there's so much. Do I feel like killing some cows? Like, not really. Y'all are loud. God damn. That's Bones. Alright, you're getting named Barky. Barky. And that's the other one back there. Bones, Barky, and the other one. What's up? There we go. Okay, if I can get the last blaze rod. Let me Google. How many are you supposed to get? You normally should get like 12, right? How many ender pearls to find stronghold? I need more. I fucking might need more. I have a wither skeleton skull. That's cool. We can hang that up on the door. Do I have any spare fence? Yeah. Bam. That's a effing wither skeleton. Wither skeleton. Chicken jockey. Ugh. Chicken jockey. Yo, can you shut the fuck up? Yo, I hear you. You're valid, and I hear you. But, like, can you chill? I gotta take the call. Ruff, 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 ruff. Ruff. Sorry, I needed it. That makes it a bit better. That fucking thing keeps freaking me out. Okay, back in we go. Back out we go. Okay, let's grab some cobble. You know, when I'm, like, thinking back to... I really ought to go back and rewatch the old PSJ. Because, like... Oh, did it just despawn? Are you kidding me? That... fucking blows. That... really sucks to see. That's... Are you guys on the other side of this? Sounds like you are. It's because you are. Uh-huh. Ow. I'll run you down. Okay, that's one. Hey, ayo. He's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Fuck you. Oh, come on. Alright. Where? Get down. I can't reach that high. Okay, aggro on me, yeah. Ah, fuck. Bones galore. I can bring a whole army of wolves in with the ender dragon. Fuck you. And you too. No, and the horse you came out of. Donde están? Hey, hey. Oh, ho. Who's got to go? Hey, hey. Oh, ho. Where are you? Hey, hey. Oh, ho. I'm really hungry. Hey, hey. Oh, ho. Where? Are you above? Oh, they must be above. Yeah, they're above. Man, there's a lot of you as well. What, are you trying to fucking camp me on my way out? Man, there's a lot of you. Good lord. Okay. We're going back this way. You're just the worst. And I'm hurting for escorting. Actually, go fuck yourself, because I was looking for you guys earlier and you were so unappreciative. But now you're finally willing to have my friendship. Kill yourself. I can't reach you. This is bad. I'm out of arrows. Fuck! I can't really hit you very easily here. I don't like you. Crap. See ya. Okay. Okay. I'm ready. Bam. Back to find some piglins, to trade them some gold, to hope to get some ender pearls. I definitely don't have enough gold. And definitely what's gonna happen is I'm gonna find them. I'm not gonna have enough gold to get enough ender pearls. I'll then have to turn around, mine some gold in front of them. They'll freak the fuck out. Then we'll fight. Then I may win or lose. Who knows? And then I'll have to find some new ones who didn't see me just mine some gold. How do I get down? Over here. Right? Fuck it. Okay. I'm ready. Give me some piglins. And then I shall be one with them. And then we shall trade and barter. And they shall give me their delicious eyes of ender. Or ender pearls. This is an ender pearl. I can't believe they use that take as well. Whatever. Okay. Hey, friend. Man, there's some not friends with you as well. Hey, friend, come back. I don't really want to interact with those meanies. I have gold. Look, you like that, don't you? Hey, gold. Hey, you want that? You want some? What you got? Oh, you just took it. Oh, so you just took it. Okay, fine. How about this? Better not fucking take it. What about me? Fine. Ingot. I want something. We are bartering. I have more. That's something. You want another? I'm concerned about those hogs. Blackstone. Great. Okay. More, dude, throw me a bone here. Not literally. Pearls. No, pearls. Pearls. Dear Lord. Soulset, go fuck yourself, dude. I don't fuck with that guy. Okay, give me the gold. Give me the gold. Give me. 15. One trade. Wunderbar. That's bad. Shoot. Shoot. I'll play Batman with you. Shoot. Homie. Dude. Shoot. There we go. Any gold y'all got? I need me. There's some gold. Oh, damn, is it slow walking here? Y'all put weights in this ground? Barely feel myself move. Remember when Dream, like, cheated with this? And then, like, did he dox someone over it? I feel like he doxed someone. I mean, he's doxed lots of people. Hi. Hey, everyone. Now, what can I make with you? 7. Strong 7. Strong. A noble 7. Now, where is someone I can trade it with? That's a good question. However, if there's no one here... Ah, there are some friends. Hello, y'all. I bear no trouble. I bear no bad news. I come only bearing gifts. And I would be pleased by payment in return, though. Here's another. You wanna? Come get it. Bro, what are these trades? Take the arrows. Okay, time to get more. You have a shiny sword. I don't like that. Are you after me? No, you're after it down there. Ooh, nothing I can really do about that, y'all. Sorry. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Just a neutral trader passing through, you know? Okay, let's see if this neutral trader can find any more trades to trade with you. Nope. 7. Strong 7. Strong. A lucrative 7. A worthy 7. A luscious 7. A spectacular 7, I ought to say. Some of the best 7 gold ingots that I've ever seen in my whole life. Yeah. And now a full 9. You could make a block out of this, quite frankly. Hi. Yeah. But you're done by the hoglins. I will not go and get you. Nope, the hoglins are up here. I will go and get you. Ow. No tier? I thought it's guaranteed drop. Fuck. Uh-oh. 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 Fuck. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Hey, buddy. Can you come out? Hey. Hey, buddy. Can you come out? Where are you at, buddy? Hey, that's my friend. Relatively. Fuck. Okay. shit, I'm so bad at this. Help, help, help. I have money for you. Money, 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 money. You like that? Yeah, money. Take some. Please give me something good. Please. And don't rob me like you did twice already. Please. Please. Practically robbing. Alright, we're making you a hole. That chill with you? Yeah, that's chill with you. Let's get you in our little hole. It's called the friend hole. It's where you go if you're a friend. Bam. Go in there. Bam. Not what I wanted. Try again. Not what I wanted. Try again. You're not getting the message. I need pearls. I need a pearl necklace. Can you give me a pearl necklace? Not... There's literally some of that at your feet. If I wanted that, I would have gone down with you in the friend hole. But instead, you're the friend who's going to give me the pearl. I'll take those. That's bad sign. Pearls. Good lord. Alright, I'll be back. Stay in the friend hole. You don't see me, you don't see me, you see me. Fuck, fuck. Okay. Okay, so he is in the friend hole. We will revisit him on another date. Jesus Christ, Lord Almighty. This is the wrong way. Fuck me. You guys suck, you know that? You suck. You just suck so much. You're no fun to be around. You guys are the worst friends. Like, honestly. Can I be honest? You guys suck to be friends with. Oh. God, it still scares me. We got nothing. I guess we got the 31 arrows. The 31 arrows is nice. I'll take the 31 arrows. But other than that, we got nothing. I need a new chest. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Put all this shit away. Put all this fucking shit away. I don't need any of this shit. Damn, the music just came on. I was about to get off. Alright, let's go back to the normal mine. See if I can find some gold. The mine shaft might have. I mean, I'll have some. The question is how much, but... it's fine. 48 torches should be good enough. I don't know how much exploring we'll really be doing, especially if it's in a mine shaft. Alright. It's alright. It's alright. We get knocked down, and we get up again. Let's crank that music a bit. Let's crank it more a bit. Yes, queen. Slay the boots down. Slay those damn boots down. Double torch. Double torch. Double torch. I'll run up on you, squad. Base banks risen up. Net spin. Glazing up. Net spin. We mine. Mine. First we mine, then we craft. Shut the fuck up, Jack Black. Where? Oh, that's a lot of zombies. Okay, you start fighting each other. No, you won't. This is bad. Okay, now you start fighting each other. Ow, 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 ow. I can't eat? Are you kidding? Bro! Attack the zombie that's chasing you, not me. Skeleton, I am not really fucking with you right now. Kind of on my don't fuck with list, alright? Torch. A torch. A torch. A torch. Yeah. We're at 22 gold. That's something. That's something. It's something. I feel like we'll at least be able to get some ender pearls. I doubt enough, though. And that's pretty tough. And so is this. How do you see me? What is this shit? Add some gold as well. Okay, yeah, fucking come over here. Who? That was you? Ghost hand. I see the screen turn black. I am sprinting the other direction from there. I do not feel like fucking with a warden on hardcore mode. That is something that I rarely even do in not hardcore mode. 49 gold. That's a baby zombie. Don't feel like getting fills it. That's bad. Okay, well, I think that's the end of our mining adventure. And that's a baby zombie. That's bad. Shit. I guess we have to just outrun him. Dude, you're joking. Seriously? And I'm not even eating correctly? Alright. Time to die, you little fucker. Bitch. Honestly, kind of surprised I got 440 into a hardcore run. I honestly surprised I didn't die once and had to restart yet. Now we'll have to see what happens. 'Cause I think trading with the piglins will be fine as long as I can manage those hogs, which I seem to be able to do. Is it raining? Is there a twister? It still fucks with me. I should put it on like a wooden post. Let me do that. Alright. What do I want to name the horse? I want to name him Silverback. Silverback. Yeah. Get in the gold. Get in the gold. Get in the gold. Man, y'all never shut the hell up. 9. Okay, so it's about a 2% chance to get an ender pearl. So to get 2 to 4. Okay. Less than desirable. But doable. Here, actually. Get over here. Ow, you're hurting. Where the fuck did you go? Dog. Pussy. Come on. Fuck. That's bad. Come on. Come on. The hell are you? That's a pearl. That's a pearl. Where's the friend hole? I need to find my friend in the friend hole. Hello? No hogs, please. Alright, friend hole. Do you think he's still there? I would guess 50-50. I don't know what they register. Yeah, friend is still. Oh shit. Yeah, man, I kind of forgot. Will you still trade or like no? You will. Great. Okay, then we can carry on like normal. You know, if you give me the pearls, I can let you out of the friend hole. Now, if you attack me afterwards, then I'm gonna put you under the friend hole. But like, it's all up to you, homie. I'll take the arrows. Stop shortchanging me on this gold. It's pure bona fide gold. I got it from the outside as well. Got it from the damn overworld. It's clean, dude. It's not all ashen like this shit down here. That's something, I guess. Bro, soul sand? I'm giving you gold, you're giving me sand? I should have trapped more than one of you in the friend hole. You're slow. Taking money. You also stole that chest plate from me. I didn't mean it. That wasn't a gift. It was a barter. I don't know what the hell your problem is. Bro, give me some pearls. Please. Leather's not horrible. I can try to make bookshelves. Ender pearl. No. Ender pearl. No. Ender pearl. Those nuggets had the same % chance dropping as the ender pearl. There we go. 4. Beautiful. More of that, please. More of that. We could use like 3 more or 4 more, whichever you got. We'll just keep going through all the money. Because I'm hungry. I'm hungry for some pearls. Great. 6. Okay. So we're looking for like as many as possible, right? So like at least 12. Or I guess 11. But I'm not going to tell you that. Bro, this is good gold. This ain't the cheap shit. Hand packed. Hand smelted. Take the arrows. Come on, give me pearls. Give me pearls. Give me pearls. I need some pearls. Need some pearls. Gravel? Bro, are you shitting me? Alright. So at most you give me 4 more. And then we're still under. Or you give me fucking soul sand. Or you give me soul sand. I oughta. For the way you've been treating me. Come over here. Hey, you. You. Yeah. There we go. Get back here. That blows. That blows. That's funny. Fireflies. Whoa. Cute. Is there any functionality in them? Or is it just atmospheric? I don't remember. I don't remember. Hiya. Man, that's so close. Gold block there. This is right here? And I went exploring all that way for lava? Alright. Alright, man. Alright, man. Yeah, man. Okay, ow. Oh, who now? Great. Yes, very good. Very good. Yes. Get over here, big salmon. Yeah, not so big now. You're just gonna sink. See ya. Dude, can you sink already? How are your arrows shooting so well? You're underwater. There we go. Alright. See you later, man. Alright, we cook all this up. Then we can go voyage. And I think I'll probably end here. Cause my throat be tired and I be tired. I think I'm gonna end here though. Just cause I'm petering out. I can feel myself petering out. Alright. I'm gonna end here. Good work, if I do say so myself. Alright, let me pause the timer. Do I know how to do that? Okay. It is at... Let me just do this. Here. This is what we're at, in case I accidentally reset it. Trying to close out of it. Alright. I'm ending here. I'm tired. My throat's gonna give out. It's 11:30. Damn, it's 11:30? I guess I've been going since 6. God damn. Yeah. But I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Goodbye. Oh, I need to like go to YouTube and click end stream first, don't I? And then I can click end stream over here. Right? Isn't that how this works? Live. I go here. And then I do nope. And then I do how do I do it? And then I do viewing live control. Wow. Would you look at that? End stream. Okay, alright. Goodbye everyone. Night night. And okay. And now good night, everyone else. Good night.